let's go back here to now the regular layer with all of our channels here. Now, since we know that this is all microphones here for people talking and speaking, then just know that you're probably going to always want to see the level of these be higher than the rest of the band, right? So like, you're probably never going to want to have the band ever like up here, right? Because then we wouldn't really hear the vocalist very well. So just know that wherever you set the stuff for the vocalist, the band and everything is going to be kind of behind that, right? And so maybe we start off with thinking about these are our drums. So drums are at this level, and then we've got the two keyboard players. They're a little bit almost close to where the rest of the vocalists are at, and you know, maybe everything else is kind of behind them just slightly. So that's kind of what I would do for that. Now this is the mix going to the main monitors, but maybe on aux 1, the one that's the floors, they don't actually want to hear any of the band very much. Maybe they just want to hear a lot of the singers, and they might want to hear like the keys and the piano, right? That's kind of like what usually singers want. Themselves, maybe give me the keys, you know? So that's what's going to the floor monitors, and then keep in mind when it's pastor speaking or somebody, right, they're gonna be able to hear themselves, so that's good. Number 2 was for the choir, right? Was that what? Okay. So the choir is going to want none of the band, except for maybe some keys, right? They're not going to need to hear any talking coming out of the back of there. All they're strictly going to want to hear is just the choir stuff. So this is where the wirelesses start, right here, and then this is where the choir starts, right here. So they're not going to really need to hear much speaking going on back there. You know, we don't want a lot of the speaking to come out of those speakers, but mainly we're going to want to hear them, and we're going to want to have the piano coming out. That pretty much covers what's happening on mix 2 right there. Okay, so now let's talk about mix 3. This one's going to the band. The band is going to want to hear all of the band, right? And they'll want to hear a little bit of the choir. They're really going to want to hear those lead vocalists, though. That's what the drummer is holding on to. The drummer is going to be listening to the piano player, and he's going to be listening to the lead vocalists, so he can make sure that he's all on time. So this is what's happening with the band mix here. Then mix 4, what I would do with mix 4 is make it a copy of whatever you do on the left and right mix, because whatever happens out here for our main mix, you kind of want a copy of that to go to mix 4 for the background fill, right? So I would just kind of like set that up however, you know, you end up setting the main mix. But, you know, keep in mind, of course, we're going to want the vocalists to be above the rest. So something kind of like that. Obviously not with the drums taking off on everybody. But yeah, so now that we just set some levels, kind of a blind mix, what we'd want to do is store this for every Sunday. So what I'm going to do is go to my scenes, and I select my Sunday setup here, and I'm going to store it. And it says overwrite. What that means is we're just going to be adding to the saving that we've already saved, so it just overwrites it with the new work that we've done. So now, if I were to say clear the board, maybe. Now everything on the board went back to 0, right? My main mix, mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, mix 4, all of my effects, it's all zeroed and back to nothing. But if I want to just recall it, I click my Sunday setup, push recall, and now when I go back here, you can see that my left and right mix is intact, mix 1, mix 2, mix 3, mix 4. They're all there waiting for me like I set them, and that's what's really cool about it.